This is a long division of polynomials question, and I'm going to call it a type 1 because we are not missing any terms of x on the inside problem. We have x to the third, x to the second, x to the first, and no x's out here on the constant. If you're missing one of these powers coming down, you need to put in a placeholder, and that will be a type 2 question. We're going to review regular long division of whole numbers, just to review the process for that. So you divide 13 divided by 5 is 2, and 2 times 5 is 10. 3 left over, bring the 4 down. 34 divided by 5 is 6. 6 times 5, 30. 4 remainder, bring the 6 down. 46 divided by 5 is 9. 9 times 5, 45. Remainder of 1, and we can write this as 1/5 for the remainder. The one step in here that we do in our head that we will have to write down on our algebra problem is the subtraction right here. Each time we're going to write that subtraction, and this is a good problem to use a colored pencil or a colored pen with to show subtraction steps that we're going to have to do. And you need to remember that once you do your division and put a number up top, you multiply diagonally and get a new value underneath here. The first step with polynomials is to take your first term on the inside, right here, and you're going to divide it by the first term on the outside. We're never actually dividing by the -3. So, 4x to the third divided by 2x. It's going to be 2x to the second power. If you're having trouble finding that part, you can go to the side and do the little division. That's what that would look like. Here divided by here. 4 divided by 2 is 2. X to the third divided by x. Remember, there's a 1 exponent here, and that you subtract your exponents. So you end up with x to the second. This is a value that goes up top. I like to write the value over the matching term on the inside. Some teachers will write it here, which is perfectly okay. I just think it works out better lining it up right here. So the other way to look at this is, what do you need up top? So when you multiply it by just the front part here, you get it to match this first part exactly. So the 2 times the 2 would get the 4. The x squared times the x will bring you up to x to the third. So that's the other way of looking at it. Once you put your value up top, you need to multiply by your out front part. And in this case, you have a binomial out front. So you actually have to distribute with that. So 2x squared times 2x is the 4x to the third. And then 2x squared times -3 is -6x squared. With whole numbers, you're used to just getting one answer right here. With algebra, if you have a binomial here, you're going to get a binomial right here. This could be done off to the side with your division that you did over here. So 2x squared needs to be multiplied by 2x minus 3. And you need to put this in parentheses to show the distributing. So you multiply that out is your 4x to the third minus 6x squared. That's how you get your lined up part here. So first do your division to get here, then multiply it to get your answer underneath. Now we need to do the subtraction step. Using color, put a subtraction sign out front, but put your binomial in parentheses because you have to subtract the whole entire binomial. This subtraction out front will distribute and make this be a negative, so these will cross out. That's your goal, to make those cross out when you do your sign change. Then this negative distributes with a negative here and gives you a positive. I like to put the sign change above the old sign and circle it so you know that you made your sign change. Now you have -8 plus 6 is your -2x squared. That's your leftover part. And then you bring your next term down, plus 11x. And repeat the process again of division. And again, you're only concerned with the first term here. This first term divided by the first term here. So what do you need up top here? So when you multiply it by 2x, you'll get exactly negative 2x squared. You'll need a negative 1x. And again, you could do that little division off to the side. Negative 2x squared divided by 2x. Here's where we get the negative 1 from. You have your exponent of 1, so x to the second divided by x is x, because you subtract your exponent. We're not going to write the 1 part up top. We're just going to write negative x. And you can see how this lines up over your next term. We used to have x to the second. The next term is x to the first. That's the part of division of polynomials that gets smaller, is your exponents. And then your value up top needs to multiply by your binomial out front. So negative x times 2x is negative 2x squared. And negative x times negative 3 is positive 3x. And again, you can do that multiplication off to the side. Negative x times 2x minus 3. And distribute. So negative 2x to the second. And a negative times a negative is positive 3x. So we have the matching value here. And the next step is to do the subtraction. So put your subtraction out front. Parentheses around your binomial. This will make it be a positive, so they'll cross out. Negative times a positive here is a negative, and circle it. So we have 11x minus 3x, which is 8x. And bring down your next term. Now because you brought your last term down, it means you're on your last step of your division. And repeat the process again. So 8x divided by 2x. So you'll need a 4 up top. So plus 4. And again, the division off to the side for that is 8x divided by 2x. 8 divided by 2 is 4, and the x's cross out. So when you multiply positive 4 times 2x, you'll get your 8x. And the positive 4 times the minus 3 is a negative 12. And the multiplication for that, you got your 4 up top times 2x minus 3 out front, so 8x minus 12. You always have 2 steps for every piece of your division that you have to do. The division part and then the multiplication part. Now you have your subtraction. And this negative with the negative here will be a positive 12. So you have a remainder of 3. And you're going to write the remainder as a fraction, so 3 over 2x minus 3. And we have a positive remainder, so we will say plus. Plus 3 over 2x minus 3. If you have a negative remainder, you would just put a subtraction sign here in front of your fraction. So again, you go down 1 power at a time in your answer, just like you went down 1 power at a time when you originally started with your dividend.